these darn pictures. I swear, every time I go live, I have to take a picture. It's so bad. Okay, let's clean some brushes while people get on. If you're on the replay, say hey. There's nobody here yet. I always wait till I see one. One means everyone's here. Once I see one, then I'm like, let's go. Everybody who needs to be here is here. That's not usually how I feel about it. Okay, so I'm just cleaning. I'm using Saint brush cleaner, a microfiber cloth. Obviously, I like it. And then I clean it up. I did a live in my Facebook group and on this side of the face. And I'm showing how to use the DEMI Touch collection. Hi, hello, how are you? I was just saying, since one person's popped on, I don't know who, but since one person's popped on, once one pops on, everyone's here. So I'm going to get started. So this is the DEMI collection. Look at that, nice and clean. I just did my makeup on Facebook, so I'm just tidying up the brushes from that. And we're going to talk about the DEMI Touch. So here's my deal with DEMI. We know how I feel about DEMI, I think. If you're new, then here's the deal. DEMI, when it was created, was meant to be a standalone product. It was never meant to be used with 3D. It was its own entity. You had to actually get certified to be able to share DEMI. And I never did that. I said it's the most complicated, simple makeup. If you were here for my live yesterday, just so you know, I did refill my palette. I'm going to show DEMI on its own. So on this side of the face, I'm wearing my 3D with my DEMI, and I'm going to show both ways. I'm going to cover my discoloration over here with the DEMI on its own, the way it was meant to be. But as all things, people have free will, and they're going to do what they darn well please, which is okay. But I'm going to show you how to use DEMI with your 3D also. But I'm also going to show what happens with DEMI when you do it first and then put your 3D on. We all know I like my dense correctors, Aspen, Suede. We're not going to be using those at all today. And so here's how we're going to do this. Here. Hi. Ooh, let's get personal. Okay. Here, I should zoom out and talk about the brushes. Let's get my boob light out of the, oh, I'm a mess, guys. I'm a mess. Okay, here's the 3 brushes that you get in the DEMI Touch collection. This is the wash brush. I'm going to say that one first because I always forget the name of it. This is very similar to the blend brush that I use all the time. And so if you get this collection and you don't have the blend brush, you got this guy. The difference between the two is really this end. This one's a little shorter and more dense. This one is longer and fluffier. That's it. So there's a little more control with the blend brush, but that's okay. And so if you're doing your under eyes, I would say use this nice small end with your 3D. And it's really great for blush if you're but we're just going to talk about DEMI first. But this is a really great brush for if you're wanting to sculpt and apply makeup and then use your DEMI. You can do that with this brush. And then these are the other 2 brushes. Now you're going to have a favorite between the 2. They'll look like this. This is an artist brush that I got. Okay, so first brush. This is the spot brush. This is great for things like broken capillaries, which I have mine covered because I was showing something. But I have a little broken capillary here, and I have spots. I have old breakouts that are healing, and I've got redness here. I've got these little polka dots. This brush is nice and small and pointy and great for pinpointing discoloration, hyperpigmentation. It's great pinpoint because that's what DEMI is supposed to be. It's point-to-point color correcting. The fluffy end, this is a great end for just once you tap it on, you can tap it out and blend it down and make the things disappear. That's the brush. The other brush is the bright brush. Has a bigger end. I'm trying to use my forehead so you can see. But it has a fluffier end. This is great for areas. I do like it for around the nose. I do like it if you have more. I like to use it on the inner corner here because I don't have just a couple spots. I have more of like an area here. And then right up here, I like to correct. And so I like using this brush for the under eyes, but I will use this spot brush for this little pinpoint area. I will use this, you'll see, just to mute down some redness using some DEMI. And then the fluffy end, of course, is great for tapping it out once you put it on. But these fluffy ends are also great if you're in a pinch for eyeshadows. This brush right here, also great in a pinch if you need a lip liner brush. So that's what I did over here. I lined with indigo with this brush. And let's get into it. So this is DEMI. It's pure pigmentation. It looks like a little box of Skittles, and it's point to point. You'll get a sticker. Where's the sticker? Right here when you order your DEMI. It comes with this sticker so that you can find your color. So if you're fire engine red, like a broken capillary or a super angry pimple, you just find your red, and then the counter is what's across from it, so it would be more of a green. So we're going to take this all into account. We're going to do this together. DEMI is not my wheelhouse, and if you've been on my channel, you know DEMI is not my wheelhouse. That doesn't mean I can't do it, and if I can do it, you can do it. I have a team with me that helps me with it too, that's helping me learn. I'm always learning. I'm not an artist. Let me be clear. I'm more of a hobbyist, and I really just like this makeup. I got in a whole tailspin yesterday, but the thing with me is I've been using this makeup for over 3 years. I've been playing with the DEMI stuff for a year. And so I call myself a hobbyist more than an artist. It's a purchase title, and I know that. I didn't go to cosmetology school, but neither did the Ulta lady either. But I do know my stuff when I'm talking about this because I've been playing with it for a long stinking time. So I'm a hobbyist. Okay. So let's get into this. Hello, Lisa. All right. Thank you. I try to be people's favorite. I have a hard time when I'm not. Okay, so we're going to get into what should we play with first? Let's do under eyes first, because I know my under eyes. I use 2 colors. I use these 2 right here, which don't look like they'd work for my under eyes. I'm really in your face today, and you have to be. But I use Y01, so it's yellow, orange, level 1. Level 1 means light. So, and then I use 03, which means a little more depth. These colors together don't look like they would do diddly squat, but looky right there. All right, I have no 3D under my eyes over here. Okay, let's get into this. I am going to use the bright brush. I like the bright brush the best for under eyes because it can be a little bit bigger of an area. But again, if you have smaller issues under your eyes, grab this brush. This is such a good collection though. I like these 3 paired together. They're so good. So I'm going to use the small end of the bright brush, and I'm going to dip straight up and down into Y01, and I'm going to go into the darkness, which is not bad, but I'm just going right over right where the darkness is. I'm not going around it. I'm tapping right on it. And then I just tap as I go. You don't really want to see much on the brushes. And then I'm just tapping where its darkness is the most, flipping it to the fluffy end, and then I'm tapping it out. But I'm just tapping up and down and hitting where there's the depth. And then I'm going to use my Y01 right here just to bring it forward. It's more of a shadow, but I'm wanting to give the illusion to pull it forward to camouflage the depth of the shadow. Like that. There we go. All right, next I'm going to clean it off. I always say get a cleaning towel if you're playing with DEMI. And I'm going to go into 03, and I'm tapping straight up and down onto this brush, just like that. And I'm more sweeping this onto the areas where I feel like it looks dingy, because I'm wanting to use this 03 more to brighten my under eyes, cancel out any veins you can see. But I just use 03 very lightly over this area just to brighten things up. I'm going to switch to the spot brush because I have this broken capillary right here. I'm going to go into, because broken capillaries are red, you're going to want a green. Red meet green. And so I'm going to go into this GY1 color right here, tapping straight up and down, putting a tiny, tap it, tiniest amount, and you are going to pinpoint this beauty. DEMI is something you've got to really play with and talk to me. I have 2 little freckles here. I'm going to clean this off, and I'm going to go into R1. Okay, so it's just red level 1, so light. We're going to tap it straight up and down, and I'm going to hit this freckle and this freckle. And then I'm going to tap it and tap it. And that's it. That's how DEMI works. And so you're not needing to cover your face with a whole bunch of colors, but I was able to brighten it and make it look nice. Looks pretty darn good. So this area right here around my nose, I'm going to take the bright brush. I like this brush the best. This is probably the one I use the most. And then this is the one I use second. I'm going to go back into that GY1, and I'm going to tap in, and I'm going to just feather lightly dust over that redness. GY1 has a little bit of yellow in it, which helps. Mute that down. I have some broken capillaries right here, but I'm not zooming in on my nostrils. All right, guys, sorry. I have some shame. And I'm not going to do that. Right here, I get a little bit red. I'm going to flip it to the fluffy end. I think that this end is too big for what I'm about to do. So I'm going to go into the fluffy end. I'm going to go into that GY1 again. And I'm just going to sweep this over my brows, over that redness, and just blend it down and just correct it. And it doesn't look like I put a big old smear of anything over my brow. It just muted that redness, okay? I'm gonna stick with this fluffy end on to my GY1, and I'm generally kind of red in this area, so I'm just going to go over, and I'm not focusing on the spots, I'm focusing on the area that looks kind of red, and I'm just sweeping this over to mute that redness down, so then I can just focus on the colors that I'm needing to correct. I'm gonna need the spot brush for this. This is hard for me. I'm gonna do this brown spot first because I played with one over her. And I am going to go into RO, so this dark RO. Let's meet these ROs and ORs. RO, red, orange 1, is a little more pink. OR has a bit more peach to it. I'm gonna go into RO1, tapping onto the top of that point, and I'm gonna go into here, and this is not one brown color. This is more of a green. If it looks muddy, they say it's green. And so I'm going to go into the darker points of it around the outside right here. And then I'm going to use this fluffy brush to just tap it out like that. I'm going to clean off my brush, and I am going to go into OR on the other side, grabbing, oopsies, sugar pants. Okay, boop, boop, boop. Grabbing some of that, and I'm going to go into the lighter point of it. Grabbing that fluffy end, and I'm just going to tap it on and off. So that's what DEMI can do for those things, those brown spots. This is more of a freckle, but why don't we just play with it? Grab a little RO for that darker spot right there. Boom, boom, boom. This one's hard. It's a freckle though. I mean, come on. All right, we're going to dig into whatever's left of this RO, and I'm going to try my acne scars. This is a hard, you want to focus on the ones that stand out the most, not every little tiny area. If I did that, you know, you've got to, if you're going, this is so you can essentially go makeup free. You're just taking care of some of those distractions. So I'm using RO, and I'm just going to go over the ones that are bothering me the most. Boom. Look at that. Grabbing RO over this little acne scar and tapping it over. So if you're just wanting to go to the store, but you don't want to go to the store with this, you grab some of your DEMI and you just take care of these. And once you know your colors and where they go, you're out the door quick. Pretty darn quick. It is a learning curve. And again, I've got a team of amazing ladies that help me, help you. We help each other. We send each other's videos to customers. That's what we do. So I was able to clear that pretty much up. I am going to take the fluffy end. I'm going to go into OR. I'm going to tap onto the tips of these bristles so it looks like dust. And I'm going to go over that redness I have right here. Boom, boom. Look at that. That looks pretty stinking good, okay? It looks pretty stinking good. And that's what DEMI is, and then you can just go to the store and go about your day. If you don't want makeup and you just want a couple of little Skittle colors, and you just want to touch it up, you can absolutely do that and have those heavy distractions. This part of my face really makes me insecure. So when I'm anywhere, I think everybody's like, whoa, look at Amanda's cheeks. I think everybody's looking at them. And I feel like because I do the same makeup thing, I feel like a walking billboard in a way, but whatever. But this is the area where I have the most insecurity. So I'm going to show you why I don't like DEMI being under your 3D. And then I'm going to show you how to use DEMI with your 3D. So insert 3D makeup. And we're going to use this. I'm going to do my full face basics. Main highlight, brightening highlight, contour, blush. I'm going to be using Indigo Contour. I'm going to be using Hollywood Lip and Cheek, which is what I have over here. and then you'll see what I do over here. I'm going to use the 3D brush because it can get me done quickly. I'm going to go into Athens as my main highlight, and I always put this down here, and I'm going to stipple this like I'm going to apply it the way that I always do. Always do. I'm going over all my discoloration, evening out my skin tone down here, and then I bring it up over my scarring. Athens is a pretty magical highlight. I feel like it gives a little more coverage than you're used to getting from I think it's pretty magic, okay? So I'm bringing this up, bringing this around, and just evening out my skin tone. I'm gonna go to the pointy end, I'm gonna go into my brightening, and I'm gonna hit right here on the mid of my forehead and create brightening. This is just creating reflecting light. We know the drill, right? We kind of know the drill. If you don't know the drill, say, I don't know the drill. What drill are you talking about? And so basically, brightening is reflecting light while giving you coverage that you want with dimension. All right, I'm going to take the short end and I'm going into indigo, and I am going to be skipping bronzing today. When I skip bronzing, I do my contour a little differently. I focus it up at the top like I always do, but then I bring it down a little where I would have put my bronzer, and it gives kind of the same look. It's okay. But that's it. And then I'm going to grab this pointy end where I had the brightening, and I'm going to pull that up towards my contour, and bada bing, bada boom, when we're done. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to go back into indigo, and I'm just going to hit the side right here, contour my nose, and go boop, 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 boop. I always bridge it up to the middle. I'm going to pinch this pointy end. I'm going to grab some of that brightening, and I'm going to do my best to go right down the middle or crooked. And then we're just going to use our finger to lickety split. We're done. All right, taking that short end, and we're going to go in again, tap, 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 and I'm going to go back here on this back part right over her, and we're just going to get that contour in. I like to focus mine more towards the back because as I am 42, my volume in my cheeks is going down, and so I don't have these all the time. They just kind of fall into my jowls, and so I just focus it towards the back, and then I'm going to grab a little more, and we're going to chisel down here. Chisel, 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 way down here. Boom, boom, boom. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm trying to keep these lives for this 25, 30 minutes most. All right. I am going to go into a blush. I'm not going to add brightening under my eye because I just don't, I'm going to add a little bit. Add a little bit just right here because I didn't bring my DEMI down that far. So I'm just doing that right there. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Look. I like that. Let me fix my brows. I did not draw my brows on for you guys. All right, we're going to go into Hollywood Lip and Cheek. I like this one because it's a very neutral pink. So if you have scarring and you're scared of your acne pulling through, but you still want a summer pink, Hollywood is a really great option. It's not going to be super punchy. It's going to be pretty neutral, but it's good. And so I'm just putting this up towards the top, and then I'm going to bring this down to the apples. Now, as I'm doing this, I can see my scarring pulling through. This is where I'm just like, I don't like this. Look, that's just me. I don't like when my scarring pulls through like that. That's why I like doing my color correcting. Okay, that's why. That's why. I am going to do some lip lining. I'm going to use the spot brush. I'm going to go into indigo, and I'm going to use it to line my lips. Right here. It's a really good lip liner brush. I like the multitasker brush a little bit more because it has a little more control. This one's longer, so it has a little bit more flimms to it, but it depends on the brushes you have. If you didn't get the collection from yesterday and you want this collection, this is a great lip liner brush. I like using brushes for more than one thing. All right, lined it. I'm going to go into August because that's what I used on the other side of my lip. And this is August. It's like plum, but in sheer gloss form. And I just smear it on like that and smear it on like that. It's a really pretty color, especially mixed with indigo. I like indigo as, I get excited when I'm dark enough to use indigo as a contour. All right. To do my DEMI over my makeup. So I'm really just wanting to focus on this area right around here. And so I'm going to switch back to my DEMI palette, and I'm going to clean this puppy off. Keep a cleaning towel with your DEMI. Seriously, if you're going to keep it separate from your 3D, you should have a cleaning towel in your palette. That's just my opinion. It's handy. I mean, I've got one here. I had one in here. I have one in here. Boom. Got one right there. I've got one here just laying on my desk, and I got a buddy with it. I like the cleaning tiles. So when I say I like them, I'm not lying. Okay. DEMI. Oh, cool. Okay. Let me see. So I got my spot brush here, and we're going to focus on, I'm going to retouch up this area. I am going to use, because I used my makeup, this is why. This is why I like DEMI over top. When I corrected it, you couldn't see it. Once I started putting it on, it moved it. That's why I like using Aspen and Suede under my 3D. This is why. This is what I'm talking about when I tell you guys. I like it over if you're going to be using DEMI and you don't want the extra steps of This brush is going to be great if you do want to use those things. This is hard. I don't use this brush a lot. I'm not going to lie, but if you're just doing DEMI and then you want to sculpt and you want to add things, this is a great blush brush to use with your DEMI. But if you're also going to be using 3D and you have correcting and you don't have the blend brush, but you need these for using with DEMI, use this for your correcting with Suede and with lip liner. Suede and with Aspen. Okay? Holy Toledo. I'm going to need that brush. Just got a monkey toe it. Okay, let's see. All right, going to grab the pointy end, and because I've got blushes on, I'm going to focus on this area. I'm going to use more of the R's, and I'm going to go into RO1 on the darker ones. So right here and here are bothering me. This is bothering me too. But I'm just going to correct them. So what I was saying in Facebook, if you have a wedding and you're wearing regular traditional makeup and it's just not covering your spots, stop piling more concealer and powder on. Go grab some DEMI. You can use this with traditional makeup, and then you're not having to pile on more concealer, which is going to accentuate pores. Or if you have acne, piling on more foundation and concealer is going to accentuate the texture. Go put your makeup on like normal, like your skin's fine, and pair it with DEMI. If you know somebody who knows DEMI, bring them with you and they can touch it up. Just fine. But I'm using RO1 on the deeper points on this cheek area. And then I'm going to go into R1. Down here, I'm going to use OR. I'm going to go to the more peachy one. The more peachy one. So this is what I used on my cheeks. RO. Now I'm going to go to OR. And I'm going to grab OR. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to touch up where my makeup wiped off on my healing hormonal breakouts. Nobody tells you that when you become a grown-up about breakouts. And it really burns my biscuit, okay? All right, so, oh God, I keep missing it. You know how hard it is to do makeup in a phone? Go put a contact in with your phone. It's terrifying, I bet. Okay, so that's how I would do it. And if you have lighter spots, stick with that lighter OR. I don't like jumping all over and telling you to get all the colors. I like having a good base of 4, but I like having a good under eye. But no color is the same from point to point. And your skin is also more angry one day than it is the next, especially people with like rosacea. But you can use GY as a way of muting down that redness for your rosacea. But that's how I would use these brushes. I wish I used this one more. I really didn't use this one, but if you're wanting to add blush to your DEMI, say you just do DEMI and you want to add blush to it, this is the brush you would use. You certainly would not put blush on with these. Yolanda, thank you so much. But this is a great, if you're just doing DEMI, this is the brush you want to add bronzer. That's what I did. I did somebody's makeup Friday and I put on the 3D. She's never worn makeup, never liked makeup, and I put it on her. She just didn't like the way the makeup sat on her skin and looked on her skin because it wasn't what she was used to. I like the makeup look. But this is a nice natural look with my 3D, but it also didn't look bad before. It was a good go out the door makeup, but I did her makeup. I was like, you know what? Go wash this off. You're never going to be happy with it. And we played with DEMI and she was thrilled with it. And so we just took this brush and we put on a little bit of bronzer with it, put on some blush with it, and it looked lovely. And so if that's all you want to do is have a little bit of warmth, say a little bit of bronzer, a touch of pink for blush, and then you just want to DEMI a couple spots, this is your collection. This is a really great collection. If you already have a good solid brush collection with 3D, and maybe you don't have the blend brush, get this collection because you can touch up your imperfections over top. It's great for wedding season because you don't want to put more makeup on if you have hormonal skin at that time of the month. I know what that feels like. And I don't want to pile on more cream. So I can just demi and spot treat and it looks lovely. I'm going to take this one out. But you can easily just have a nice, beautiful makeup finish and just touch up a spot or two, which you can't do that with concealer. I will say I have done it. I did it in my Facebook Live. It's hard because I have both halves of my face done, but I was able to take the bright brush and I was able to use my main highlight Athens and my brightening white peach under my eyes on their own without demi. I just took my main highlight over those darker points with this brush and blended it out, went into my brightening and touched up where I put that 03 and it looked great. So again, this brush works with your 3D. I have the blend brush for powder illuminators too. Awesome. If you powder illuminators are a struggle for me. Because once it's in my brush, then I end up putting my makeup on the next day and I look like a trophy. And I mean, I am a trophy, but I don't want to look like a trophy. But this would be a really good illuminator brush too. But if you have the blend brush, seriously, I don't want to tell you not to get something, but you don't need this brush. But if you don't have the blend brush, this is a good collection. Plus a lip liner brush, eyeshadow ends. You could do your whole face with these 3 brushes with 3D. I should have done that. Oh man, Amanda, what is wrong? Hindsight, guys. So that is the Demi Touch collection. I hope you enjoy this. Demi's just not my wheelhouse, but if I can do Demi, you can do Demi. And that's the biggest thing for me. If I can do it, you can do it, because we all know I love my 3D. I do not need to be this close to the camera anymore. But I love my 3D makeup. Demi's just a great accessory to my 3D. So I can touch up over top for wedding. I don't like cakey makeup, and I'm always really scared of it because that was one of the things that kept making me try new makeups. So Demi, if you like 3D, you like the makeup look, but you have stuff coming up, Demi is a great accessory. It's kind of like the blend brush is a great addition to your brush collection brush. Demi is a great accessory to your 3D makeup. But I love those 2 little brushes. The little brushes are really, really good. So there is free shipping with this collection. It does qualify. You don't have to throw a little something extra in. It's free shipping. So that's it. That's my live. I did it under 30 minutes. I'm super proud of myself. All right. Have a good day.